And given that there was no, what I call compelling evidence for Christ, his God took him until I saw that God ought be mine too. When the Lord loves the world, he will bring his son. Until you Randalls, see that's just what was done. Taking his body till you're left all dusty, ashy all over your knees. And then you'll see that Christ has released his children from your folly, them and their pink hair. You wreaked havoc and try to make them mistresses. Now they're in heaven and they're at peace, having poured the alabaster jars on his feet. Now it's your turn to pour your whole oil in his feet, but you're gonna die for you witness. But before then, Karabo will have helped you die in peace. If the Lord did not help me, all the work that I needed to get done before the rapture would never have gone out. And the Lord loves these randos, even though I don't care very much for them. Bangi Kenya, but the Lord is good with you. He is too slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, to let you bry and die in the flames. So he bought you gifts through Karabo. You didn't want this information. You didn't want this because you were huffing and puffing and blowing the house down like a big bad wolf, like a bad naughty child, angry at me, trying to make me stop my ministry, trying to make me walk away from my stuff. And God was like, no, baby, girl, you are going to ramp up. You are going to ramp up, baby. You are going to ramp up because there's no time left. 5 seconds. That's it. That's all they've got. 5 seconds. They don't realize it. They don't realize it. And all this work that you do is too important for them to not see it. They must see it, so I'm going to give you gadgets. Amen. The Lord is the one that blessed the sister with new stuff, so that I can get this work out, all of it, to you on time, in real time, as quickly as I possibly can, so that y'all don't miss out on what y'all need to do to prep for this coming dangerous, dastardly season. Marabotello. Before then, nonsense. Are you good though? Cinnamon, why is my door opening by itself? What's happening? Let's go close the door. It starts opening by itself like there's a poltergeist. I'll be back. Crank, no. I'm back. I'm here like a bear. I have returned. My door opened by itself because it wasn't properly closed. I the ghost, you about the Holy Ghost. I was talking about cinnamon. It clings to the side of the cup and I really love cinnamon. So I feel some kind of way about all that clinging. I want it all. I don't care. Gotta catch them all. Pokemon! Like TikTok, it's like Pokemon. Yeah, Lord. Gotta check them all, gotta catch them all. Pokemon! Anyway, hello the Pokemon. This guy ratang vele satan. TikTok the Pokemon. I know, I'm digressing. Ria mahodi mong isingkhay. Ratsamaya bo guy, bong wana. Bos turkeys, bos tabon, bo boroms, bo kenyons, bo kang. I've already greeted you. Today is Tuesday, that date, 19th of August 2025, and the topic of the day is La Fosta. Yes, bo baby, La Hesh, Lenkane. It's given rubbish. Maramudimu, ole ratile hure kankan at my expense. Mara ke happy ka situation ya teng because ha nna ntho ke ratang go phala mosebetsi go etsang for Jesus. I love the work that I do for. I love God, and so because ya morata I pour my oil at his feet. Mara batho ba batlang stopisa ntho e ke shwang ke ikepelang ka yona ke maswabi. It's never gonna stop. Mara before then I se ke go hesha ke tlogelang wa hesha set up a must dangle on the outside, otherwise nje fela go fedile mona se kila bon. Yeah, the topic of the day is La Fosta. I just need to put some caveats out there. Kindly note that I'm wearing application makeup. Yeah, to just be an affront to Brother Enigma over and above the bio and just felt like an aluminium pinky modi matloho otomo bonsang difference. Yeah, I've got app makeup, so if it all it's like here on my cheek at some point or whatever, no, that is an application. I'm not shape-shifting. We don't do demons, okay? Another caveat that I need to put out there is, Lord, bring this to me. I need it to be brought back unto me. eyes at my captions wherever they might be on the screen. These days they hopping around all over the show like a happy bunny rabbit. That's what's giving. Yeah, they're not always accurate. Sometimes they use a small g for God. Sometimes they're misspelled. It's bad grammar. Wada. I've got volumes upon copious content. And so for those reasons, I don't edit captions, given that with these volumes upon volumes of copious content, don't nobody care, because people are banning me, people are sabotaging me, people are trying to make me walk away from anyway, whatever. Yeah, well, given that nobody watches me, even though I invest all this other work into I don't want extra work on myself, so I don't go out of my way to edit captions. I am an orator. I write really well. I've got the gift of the gab, and I can write, but I choose not to. Okay, edit my written content, my script. Well, I don't script my videos, but I'm not captioning. Like I said, I'm not doing it. Okay, I am captioning, but I'm not editing captions. I don't have an incentive to. If per video I was getting maybe like 5,000 views, I would caption properly. I would go out of my way to like write out an entire day of making sure that my 11 part, 12 part, 13 part, 14 part, 15 part, series is properly captioned. But ain't nobody trying to do any of that. Besides, y'all are going to be out to captioning anyway. You're going to transcribe my content. You're going to do that. You're going to interpret my Tswana into English, the English into Portuguese into French. Yeah, you're going to be doing that. So what's the point of getting all deep and dingy with making sure that captions are done properly, especially considering you're going to be listening to me more like a podcast at some point. God showed me that I was asking him. I think I told you guys in my other videos that y'all are going to have to rely on the printing press paperback, because you can't use anything that's digital or analog or anything of that nature. You can't use anything that can be pinged into, and that analog stuff can be reverse engineered, not reverse engineered, but rather forward engineered into digital, and then you will be found anyway by the Antichrist system using an analog space. But then the Lord said to me that it'll be possible to listen to Christian ministries in a podcast mode, insofar as you use like radios, like such old school, like you can't, for instance, use that's the speaker, like one seki. You can't use the speaker in order to listen to videos. Okay, I don't need to plug this back, I'll deal with it later. You can't use that like a speaker like that, because it's modern, and like modern technology gets used to listen to us. Not only that, even when apparently allegedly it doesn't have Wi-Fi capabilities, it's got Wi-Fi capabilities. Anything that can be used by, anything that can be pinged into by Starlink, you cannot use it. But things like cassette tapes, yes, I said it, cassette. Remember I told you the cars that you're gonna have to use are those old school ones that, before electronics, the ones that don't have USB ports, like old, those cars, you can use them. And for as long as you can. Afterwards, you're gonna have to abandon them, of course, because there's gonna be drone warfare all up in everybody's grill. You're gonna have to live in wildernesses and what have you. Yeah, same like reasoning that I went around pertaining the usage of really old cars. Make sure that there's nothing that can be used to trace your car, track your car, find your car. Even car radios be dangerous out here in these streets. Similarly too, when it comes to listening to something listening, right? When it comes to listening to something, you can use a podcaster type setup thing, but you can't use things like iPods, Bluetooth headsets. You can't use Apple Music. You can't use Spotify. You can't use, it has to cassette, le radio that uses batteries, not electricity. Radio the battery in it, 5 volt or whatever, that 12, 20, 24 volt, so you're gonna have to basically find a way to grab sound, like something that's on Spotify, something that's on YouTube, and put it in MP4 format, not MP4, MP3, sorry. However, translated not even to a CD, because that can be gotten to, if at all it can go in a computer, you can't use it. And a compact disc can go in a computer. The earlier computers had it that slipped for CDs, right? Cassette, guys, like it's giving olden day, like you be getting antiquated. You're gonna go back in the day, you're gonna be forced to go down memory lane. I'm just saying, you can use the cassette if at all it's too onerous for you to transcribe everything. If you want to listen to my voice and hear the inflections, the nuances, my jokes, you can listen. But you're gonna have to find a way to get, and some of y'all are engineers, you're gonna have to find a way to get an MP3 sound on a cassette. I don't know if it's possible to transfer content from a CD to a cassette or from a computer to a cassette, but you're gonna have, basically it's old school, y'all. No Walkmans, because they use CDs. Radio ya the 80s. The way, So you can do podcasts. You can listen to radio podcasts, but you're gonna have to be very ancient. All right. That's gonna significantly minimize all the amount of work that you have to do transcribing. But in some instances, you're not gonna be able to listen to a podcast, a cassette, or whatever, precisely because of the fact that it can be heard from distances. And some people also want to, in their own private spaces, meditate the way that you would meditate reading a Bible. And so you're gonna need to read something. So that's why sometimes some of the things we say, they must be printed out type establishment thing, but you can totally go cassette. Baby girl, do you? Baby boy, do you? You can do cassettes. Alright, so my captions are not worth my while, especially considering you're gonna be listening to me go cassetting anyway, and also especially considering y'all are gonna transcribe even the parts where I'm speaking my own language into languages that people understand, so that you can have some kind of a dossier, a pack that you're gonna feast on at the beginning of the tribulation, because there's gonna come a time when there's gonna be a warning sign on screens. Go YouTube, go TikTok, across all these social media platforms, that this video is gone, that this content is gone. Like a push message that's gonna come forward in every video that is warning people of misinformation, and certain channels that you go to, they're gonna be completely deleted, but there's gonna be a push message that is going to also pop out, letting people know why this was deleted. And also in some channels that are skating on thin ice, push messages, the way that you would get a push message when there's self-harm in a video, or when there's too much nudity or whatever in a video, and you get a push message coming from YouTube saying age restricted, something of that nature, is going to be popping up all over social media with both active accounts and deactivated accounts, so as to let people know that the new world order is here, baby girl, and you're a slave to it. Okay, very well. Now that you've gotten that information out the way, you understand now that what's going on with my captions. I'm not editing them, but don't judge me for misspelling or whatever. That's not my prerogative. Under normal circumstances, and then kindly gaze at the scripture of the day that's doing whatever it's doing over here. It's either swinging, or it is bouncing, it is doing whatever, and it is correlated to whatever it is that I'm speaking about for the day. Okay? That's what's up, that's what's down, that's what's sideways, spinning on the spot like a turbo. Hallelujah, repraise our Energizer. Again, is there anything else that I've left out in all of my intros? No, I believe that is it. But frankly, let's just reiterate. Situation in Messiage or Topiak of the day is La Fosta, and there are two little muscular men emojis over there, just to let you know how much La Fosta I'm getting. Muscular men emojis. You see the other one in black when I use this, and then you see the one yellow. La Fosta ya dengi in a lot. Amen. La Fosta. Yeah, the topic of the day is the fact that you're gonna be doing this, okay? It is addressing or talking to the fact that all the way up until the very end of the end, the Lord encourages me and says, be of good cheer. Do not be afraid. Do not be very afraid. Batlo hesha. Where the final trumpet call, the final call, until the last saint to embrace the cross prior to the rapture says, yes, Jesus, I'll take it. And then whoop, the rapture happens, until the last person that would have repented upon being given the message of Christ prior to being given the proof of the rapture, until the very last person that would repent without being stubborn for proof has said, yes, God. That's giving mama strutting. Hana motho o tlotlang mo Karabo le bana. Hana ntho e tlo etsahalang mama strutting. La hlanya le tsibile mathek rene. La hlanya le hae mozol. La hlanya hona le baji coursing through the veins tsa lona. And a baji ya tengi ha e fole. It does not simmer down after a couple of hours of being high. It just keeps on going and going. Guys, you don't ever come down from it. The drug just keeps on mutating in your bloodstream such that 24 hours a day and no amount of water and sleeping through it makes you sober. And so since you're going to be all that drunk and all that high until Pela, until Spuma, until this year is giving finale, finito. It is of course of no consequence that lang foster lang hesha le batleki teki se jaga khali teki sitse because you think gore le bogate on the shelf of Woolies. You have sold yourselves to Satan. You have embraced the prince of the power of the air. You have done a strange, anomalous thing. And today, Retlo Buwaka die situation. Lonsiwa Nkani. Lonsiwa Nkani Bongwana, little girl. Lonsiwa Nkani Booty, little Bongwana. Bobo Ncha, little Katsi. Seeing as you've made yourselves like deep hoho for Lonsiwa Nkani. Konense Kibatliwa Kibanna Banyetsing. Konense Kiravaswa Kibo Cherry. But then one felt like it about her neck is by scale and Musasatani, and it's clear. Babata wakis a buyer cause Banabas a buy. Bonabatisani over to Beelzebub. Janon Karabo and Hansadi Atisana over to Beelzewate. Hagiri getting the Battle on Nemara, Aseki Foster Huri. Let's answer Mujimu Gangan, the Battle Cocotella Sense, Ngaraki nails in a coffin. Mara before then, like I said, Aseki Hotel like Papa Huraking. Aseki Khurtoa birthday party beshe geing. Morena Jeso has by skillem. Morena Jeso did not leave me in this position so that you can say I got what I wanted finally. Kititiga enaka. Kimuhendli is in jail. Kititiga situation in Kenya kati sisters. And so obviously there's no God. Y'all's about to see what time it is. Little bona Morena Jeso kankane. Little mubona kapilele moya khule botlhoko. Lele sirla muni. Was not trying to halang else most thing other than Hobadi Sirilamun. Lang Foster. Mamelang guys. I need to go and use the ladies. Seniors go here so how na bashimane so vele bathroom ya rona ke ladies. I need to go pee. Heke khutla mona rotlo tla ka taba hore letsetse ka nkane di goospante tsa delela. That you are like la di twanza di goospante tsa teng de wele telang ka teng. Listen at discretion. And because of hotel la huatengi, literally Karabo it's only a matter of time before she does a strange thing. Honali ministry ekizwileng ko yona ya gale. I'm pressed wa bona jona I'm bouncing up and down on the bed. Pressed. Ke lahle ke balile mo. Ke shia ke tabogile. Ka iketsa Ezekiel sepeng. Ka matha ka iketsa Caster Semenya. Ka bona hore ha ke sa balege mo go rabas. Ha se go gong lata ka di jersey ke. Dintswanyana say they want me back. And I'm like, hey, where's the king Gelzina? Who do you think you are? Michael Jackson. Limpilela, oh Karabo, I wanna see you in my arms to show you that I love you ever since I saw you in another ministry. I want you back. Pumangim. Swangmona, like I said, ngati it's an evacuation. Swangmona, ngara stomalet. Swangmona. Ngarang gimamina during flu season. Twang mo nang gardigaledi, twang mo nang gara earwax, twang mo na ngara halitosis, twang mo nang gardigaledi, twang mo nang garaspinya, twang mo na ngare twap. Hala sabat. Don't swaganga. Ma, by the time re feditse ho le fokotsa ho le chisela down ho le file down ha re qeta ho lentsha. Lo bona hore nako ka ofela vele ne le hesha and you stood no chance like you like proper course right. You never stood a chance. And it will be precisely because of the recognition of the fact that you never stood a chance will you realize just what a fool you were. You were running after fool's gold. You were on a fool's errand. Mara, before then, you wouldn't have seen it. You would have imagined Uguti, one day is one day. Lebele mo to pampare mo sa buying skele. Nitlabeli planete jwalo. Until you finally realize Uguti sonke les katimeng ravaza nothing. Nekisengana. Lou, what's up? Ngibuile. So let me tell you the backstory to this hairstyle. Because you all need a backstory, even though I had tishoto tangata where I was doing this hairstyle. And by the time you watch this, no, listen, nobody has access to my content, so nobody is in any position to chronologically watch anything of mine, so I don't even know why I'm speaking such speak, but I guess it's wishful thinking, right? I was gonna say by the time you watch this, you would have seen those shorts, but it's unlikely. You're going to be watching everything of mine in parallel. Therefore, it's actually ideal that you don't have a context, even though you will ultimately have it. The backstory to Miriam, so you can understand how God works. When I was in the bathroom looking at my hairstyle, I was like, oh my goodness, it's so eccentric. I wonder what people would say if I went out there in the wilderness, like to the mall or whatever. If anybody would comment, you know. I don't really get compliments, I don't get told. Looking good, nothing. Like, I have to run with whatever it is that I think is the case. I have to run with me thinking that I'm cute. Otherwise, like, I don't get no understanding. So I just gotta run with whatever. Let me give you backstory. It's worth a while to share what in the world happened. Wholly calm. Without me having the rush of getting a message out in 3 minutes. Because that's how long YouTube shorts now are. Thank God. Anyway, yeah. My hair. Will you understand this? Ho foster ho walona. O God to dila ka lona jwang. Hore modimo o tlo dila ka lona jwang. Ne, inwelezam. I've got beautiful 4C hair. I'm a black girl, I've got 4C hair. But when I was in high school, right? Pretty much up to maybe like second year varsity. My hair was always relaxed. I used to want an afro, but I just kept relaxing my hair. And the reason why I do like relax was because I used to get complimented for my hair. It was always like when I started taking care of my hair, I got complimented. As a child growing up, these split ends, I would hold on to them. And my hair therefore was always like very thin at the bottom, but bushy on the surface. And because as a young girl, I was always koletsatsi, my hair also had these ginger tips, like these brownish tips. I didn't understand. And then I came to learn later on that when you spend all that amount of time in the sun, sometimes your hair changes color that way. So I didn't really know what my hair truly, what the true texture is and what it truly looks like when basically it's been taken care of, basically right? And again, I think another thing that also likely caused the ginger rainbow of my hair was maybe even chemicals. Study relax at different products. My hair had these ginger roots, and that was how it was. And it wasn't because I was dyeing it. It was how it was with pretty much everybody else that in the black community that was always relaxing their hair. Abangani, my older sister, etc. So we had these ginger tips, and we thought that maybe that's just the way that life in the hair business, in the hair game, is supposed to go. Everywhere so I left it. But then I got to I once went to a hairstylist kaya salooning. I went to a salon in downtown Joburg, right? My mom was very nomadic. We just moved from house to house. We did not stay in any single house for more than 2 years throughout my upbringing. So if you got used to a stylist saloon where they did your hair, you would have to just move on and find another one. Move on and find another one, because Alberton, Winchester, whatever, every time you need to do hair. And my mom was not prepared to drive all the way to wherever, in order for me to get my hair done by a stylist that I trusted. So I started to look for, I went to a salon myself, guy. I searched out a salon myself that I could afford within Keringen and Ignaliona. I searched it out. Go downtown Joburg, because that was always neutral. That was always going to be an interconnect, like a connector between Koskolongo and Lekochai, right? Given that I would first have to go to downtown Joburg and then to Alberton, downtown Joburg and then to, because we lived literally everywhere. Okay, yeah. So I found. So when I was in grade 9, I went after school. I went searching. The salooning. Go downtown Joburg. Go. Went in. Hello, lekai. Okay, sharp. Thank you. Relax. And the guys would be like 70 rand, 80 rand, 90, 150. They would quote. And then I'd be like, okay, danky. Given that my mom was miserly, and given that I had a budget, and given that Nekibata would carry over and up, like Nekibata would keep that chelete, and I happen Nekibata who relax, and Nekibata after relax, no tonga, something, right? So whenever I would get quoted above, let's say $80 for relax Iliwan, I would leave Saluni. I would not stay. And I went knocking, and this would be a journey of knocking that would linger maybe like 2 weeks. At some point I have to stop knocking. I finally find one after 2 weeks. I finally find a saloon after 2 weeks. Go downtown Joburg. Kokoti. And the here was some distance from North taxi rank, where I used to take taxis to go back home to Alberton. Yeah, the taxis that go Alberton, how do you go north? They're just outside, just a little bit of a walking distance away from north. That's why I get a north. I can't tell you what they call that taxi rank, but it's not far from north. And that's where I would take my taxis. So I made a decision one day in Jeffela who stop, I was like taxiing, because I get downtown Joburg, y'all know, it's like a chocolate block, right? So when I was inside the taxi, going to north, I was, of course, scanning the atmosphere, the environment, and then I noticed that there was a salon on the right. I noticed no salon right because taxi nail is dark, more trafficking, so all I could do is just look around. And then I was like, taxi drivers really hate when you say that. They are like, after robot or whatever, and I let you in the middle. Anyway, whatever. I was like, and then a whole bunch of people had to get out. I was sitting more or less a whole bunch of people got out before traffic moves, and I was let out. I told myself that I'll walk the rest of the journey to north to go home, because it wasn't that far from north. I would never have found the salon I never would have found Saluni Ena if, I never would have found this salon if I didn't spot it from inside the taxi. So, I give a guy, relax. And the guy there's like $60. I was like, oh, I can do $60. I can do $60. And then I came over to talking out Tonga, it was a guy, then he's like 85 rand. I'm like, okay, this looks like it's feasible. Alright, and then I'm like, okay, sharp. And I pretty much stay there. Like I get my hair did there. Because I was always going to get my hair did after school. Right? It was early enough for me to still have nakonyana. By the time I would go home after relax, it would be the nakwataba that come back from work. But remember, now I'm back from school, right? So I just stay in the salon and I'm like, okay, can you get to me now, or should I come another day? And the guy's like, yeah, Emma, I just want to finish this client, and then I'll get to you, type establishment thing, right? I then go to this guy's salon. I then sit down, and this young man then does email, right? Relax. Mara jaka han gets relax is on ne. Product and whatnot. He looks at and after my mwaka utapiwa relaxa insiwa, and he's now blow drying my hair. He's like, yo, my sister, your split ends are just ridiculous. Like you've got now these split ends. No one had ever counseled me against these split ends before. When we were growing up, so my uncle and my cousin, who was like uncle age, used to have salons, and that was the last time that anybody ever counseled me against split ends. And I was at that stage maybe like a 7-year-old girl or a 6-year-old girl, and just like it was the case when I was 6 and 7, don't come at my end, that's my length. I was like, I cannot taba, I don't care what you say, malume. Because now I'm keeping emails. My length, because long relaxed hair was like a whole rave in the black community. And my cousin, whose dad was the uncle, her hair was really beautiful. And I think it's because that's bias choice. These split ends, and so her hair used to grow really beautifully. And I used to think that my cousin's hair is that beautifully because it's her genes. I used to think that it's her genes. I guess it is what it is. But my cousin, her dad is my mom's brother, and so the genes these were her dad, and therefore Linna, my mom, is the sister of her dad, the blood sister of her dad, and my hair texture is like my mom's. It's not like my dad's. The person who under my dad's hair texture is my sister. Alright, so I was like, okay, I've got my mom's hair. I didn't think about this. It didn't dawn on me until much later, like many years down the line, right? It didn't dawn on me. I was like, I've got my cousin's hair, I've got my mom's hair, and my cousin is my uncle's daughter. Maybe she got the texture, seeing as my uncle don't nobody know what's going on with his hair, because not only she's scope, but maybe we figured her perhaps of which, when I look back, I guess indeed she did have some kind of a healthy head of relaxed hair, but it was not so like, she didn't have such bountiful, bouncy, beautiful, glorious hair that one would be like, I can see where your daughter got it from. Like my cousin had this inordinately rich mane. It was so rich, above even usiswake, umngani. Right? And like I said, I believe that the reason my cousin's hair was like that was because Namu foster. Like nasa bambim sheni, Namu kuta these split ends every single time. Namu, he trimmed her, he took care of, because my uncle was a stylist, right? At some point, at some point. Choice because I so I got to keep my split ends if I wanted them. Nobody could force that down my throat, and my mom also didn't care. Right? Hair care it's just a thing in my family. My mom but then she stopped because I guess life happened and being a parent became too hard. I don't know. Yeah, but that's like that kind of backstory. So here it is now that I'm 15 years old. I'm now 15 years old in the salon in downtown Joburg, and this guy's like, yo, your split ends. And I got these like wild memories of back in the day where it is that my cousin, not my cousin, but my uncle and my uncle and my cousin was uncle age. Like he was one of those older cousins, like Otto Fitang but took about 20 years and type setup thing. Right, my cousin and my uncle had counseled against split ends. Every single time I would go to the salon, they'd be like, when I get these split ends, when I get these split ends, when I get these split ends, and I was like, these split ends, let's get to the hectic and alright, now both my cousin and my uncle at this joint were no longer doing hair. My uncle was now a dude working in corporate South Africa, and my uncle was a dude working in corporate South Africa, while my cousin was He was involved in a whole bunch of other random things that he was into. Okay, dikoloi, whatnot. He just ventured into new things. Okay, so, and the salons I did go downtown Joburg. Alright, so I did not go to them anymore. I no longer went to them anymore. We were no longer getting taken to them every time we needed to relax our hair. And now we had to find our way around these streets, feel our way around, because I just in the family type set up things. Anyway, whatever. So I find the salon in downtown Joburg, and this one nice gentleman, okay, sits me down. After blow dry, he's then like, yo, I'm gonna split ends wako. I was like, go back to the split ends that I do, it's length. Length ya thing, if you were to go to the back of my hair, it's waves, yes, and in the center, mama haring in particular. I always thought that I could never grow hair at the back of my head precisely because of this issue that I had when I was a kid. Mama haring in the center, it was like that. It was a parabola. Do you understand? My hair had a bell curve shape at the ends. It was a bell shape, right? And it was thin all the way from like pretty much like maybe halfway down the back of my head. Down. It was thin. Mara, there were volumes of hair on the sides here. Mara, going down. In a and I thought that maybe it's because of the shape of my head underneath my hair. Maybe that's why it doesn't grow properly. I then also thought maybe what you might call this. I then started to also think perhaps maybe it's because every so often right? I would face up and then some waka no musamelo or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. So the best way then around situation was to always have ipondonyana or whatever, some hairstyle muruwaka mara. If I were to do a pushback, you call it pushback again. If I were to do pushback, I shall not Karabo and I got teased. One time when I got teased go high school, ne? When now I was in high school for situation and you know that kids can be very mean, and after kids actually be giving you crazy grief. You are so insecure, you're so insecure. I got teased for having no hair komorao. I got teased for how and then how lokomorao walking. People are like, yo, I got teased by some girls in my class and I was insecure, and it would be their teasing that would finally get me to get all serious. Right? That's when I started getting complimented. But before then, I told this guy, don't come at me, I'm a split ends. Just relax my hair, leave me alone. I'm keeping my length, and then I'm relax my hair would then grow out, and towards and having to redo my hair again, towards having to relax my hair again, my hair would get so rich, like it would get so thick, right, at the roots up to maybe here, and then that girth a little bit of a cup. It looked like I had some really beautiful hair, right? And I just kept it. I just kept it that way. Grade 8, from looking at grade 9, from grade 9, perhaps maybe early on in the year, up until later on that grade 9 year. It looked like it was healthy, and I kept going to salon every 6 to 8 weeks. It was not my salon. I chose it. Like I was like, this is my salon. This is where this is my home base. And if my mom moves to another complex, downtown Joburg, I will always go through it. I will always go through downtown Joburg. So get to like it, I'm get to relax, right? Get to like it, I'm get to relax, and I want to disturb my peace. Very well, you guys. Mara, one day, ne, because I got compliments about how it is that your hair is so beautiful. I realized that I could get good hair. Let me just start a proper journey. Because one of the things that this guy said, split ends, he was like, yo, you've got so many split ends. And then he tried to encourage me to get them cut, trimmed by saying, how good that is split ends, then I'm even faster than now. You're going to catch up to length. You're going to catch up much faster than you could in the future. And then split ends then, I guess your hair grows. So let me cut them. And then you'll see after a couple of months, and then it's gonna go even all the way. So I was like, I thought about that at home one night before one night when I was at home, before, like the day before me going to the salon again, the day before I went to the salon again to get my hair did. I ruminated on it, labored on it in my bed. On some, I like my length. Length ile mkokotelwa length. Length ile titani length. La inte isa bonagale length. Ile length is nonsense. I like it, Mara. As a need, and I want my hair out. I want to be able to wear my hair pushed back and still it look really healthy, right? Kibatla muriri waka back, eh? Kibatla muriri waka back, eh? Okay, listen, epe mole. Do I have photographs? Do I have pics to show you? Even if the thing, I don't even know who the guy. I don't know where I'm gonna start looking like Papa. But I have a pic of what my hair used to look like but I don't even know what album and I don't want to look for it because if I start looking for it, I'm going to have a great disquiet in my bones about not finding it, and then I'm just gonna be all frazzled on the inside of my body. Anyway, let me just tell the story, and then while I think in my mind while telling the story, I might grab I might try to find Snepesele. The Nepesele album, yeah, types it up thing, Mara. Basically, long story short, this one fateful evening, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hunker down, I'm gonna inhale, and I'm gonna exhale, and I'm gonna let that guy chop my hair. I'm gonna let him chop my hair. So I go to the salon. I'm like, but bro, what's up? What's good? What's giving? How you doing? Hi, okay, Nana, I was a teenage girl walking in there with school uniform. He's like, I got you. And then once I was in the chair, he was like, okay, I guess you relax as usual. Or you're just leaving without utonga, right? I got over butonging, libo whatnot later on in life, right? I got over it, but then relaxing was always a thing. I was like, yeah, kids are relaxing. And then after putting that thing, I was like, oh, and today you can cut my split ends. He was like, congrats. He was like, yes, honing. I've been like out here getting over. I've been salivating after these split ends. Thank you. You're not gonna deny. You're not gonna regret it. You how to regret these split ends. So I sit there, and the guy relaxes my hair, blow dries everything, and once my hair is straight, he then gets to the whole split end cutting thing. Whew, guys, that's like it, but like I kid, like my length was maybe like that, like mukana maybe no mukana at this point. Hage ke kama useng ke bona nje fela me re ifika mona ke ti pride mukana o mukana kana kwa teng ke ha guy nka something like that, like proper. He cut this, my hair was there. What he? Yo, what do you like? Shudders. It is sending shudders down my uneasy spine. From this long, so basically it was down to my shoulders to basically a bob cut now. Wait till when he was cutting my split ends, I remember just feeling low-key sad, but I was thinking in my mind, oh, this guy weeds it, and I trust him. Seeing as now I've been to him a couple of times. And weeds catch up in no time. And happy weeds even healthier, more beautiful. And faster. So jaka I can say Edward Scissorhands modi matlogoyaka. Because at the end of the day, Edward Scissorhands snowman. So if this guy can create that level of glory, like he's Edward Scissorhands on my scalp, I'll let him. Yeah, but I felt like I'm just gonna let him do this because I need to do it. And I remember that my uncle and my cousin who owned the salon always used to complain the very same complaints that he slapped me with. That these split ends, Karabo, these split ends. Me and my older sister, we held on to them for dear life. I think they were like lover boys or whatever. Held on really to miraruna. Thick mauve klasimo. Ginger tips thin at the bottom. Barely anything to write home about. But my older sister never embarked on a journey to get her hair looking proper. As a relaxed girl, she only saw really healthy hair growth when she did dreadlocks. My sister, there was a time when she had older sister. There was a time when she had dreads, motlokong. That was the only time my sister was ever able to see like shoulder length, bra strap length type hair. Mine are my dreads. And my sister went natural before Nakadi dreadlocks. No, she didn't. Yeah, she went natural before me because I went natural after high school, right? She, however, went natural as soon as she moved to Italy, which was like around the age of 16. And every time she would come back home, her dreads would be so much bigger. And I was like, Lona mega sotlecha man. Na sotlecha nkare she was trudging through the Kalahari sun. Relax. It's giving bush. They were so healthy, so rich, so juicy. and they would go past a certain length, and I was like, maybe it's because get the dreadlocks, right? Marana, I can't do the dreads. I've never liked dreadlocks. I always wanted like making a malleability. I wanted an ability to be able to change sana mo, yeah. I wanted to be able to easily maneuver through my strands, and dreadlocks for me were just not the thing. I didn't like them. So I was like, I want length that my sister has, Mara, I can't do dreads. I thought that maybe it was because kitty dreads and that black people cannot grow miriri unless by the dreads. And then unless about dreads, so I was like, I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with that. I'll never have that kind of hair. Like, it's okay, because I'm not trying to get my hair locking or whatever. Very, very well, hebo guys, the girls, ne? Momo strating. We're telling a story. Rito fi tako conclusion. Ning lots about very busy. Kari conclude. Hey, so this guy out here takes my hair from that, right? Sorry, from that to that, and then katari split ends. What else is being removed? That ginger stuff, like those tips that were like burned by the sun or whatever. Like, yo, I don't even know those lighter tips or an idiot sucking. I can't tell you what is the chemistry behind that, because it was certainly not dye, because I'd never dyed my hair at that stage ever before. Angas, manili ginger brownish. Ke ha tlosa di tips wa tloga. Tsona di tips too, like that gingerish color. Yeah, sugar. You know what? I actually wanna hunt like I am a Quaysan man and then gather. Later on, but I want to try and find. Are you gonna see my hair before I started cutting it? But I'm gonna try and find album in I really am gonna try and find it. I said totally. I had it. Go here, askis. Look at you, be all blessed and fortunate, cause kitty towards it. I found them. I feel so chuffed. Anyway. Alright, I want to show you just like this journey of mine. It was clearly very healthy from the get-go. Both my older sister and I had hair, like genetically. My mom, like my true hair color, the health, the girth of it. It didn't come out until I took the counsel of a stylist that cared enough about what's going on with Odimo, instead of just like a lot of the other guys that I had gone to. Okay, I'm sorry. A lot of the other people that I had gone to, the girls and the guys, and then sent me on my way, but nobody ever gave me advice, you know what I mean? Other than, of course, my uncle and my cousin, because native fam type thing. Everybody else, they were just making money. They ran a salon. It was a business. It was bread on their tables. And alright? Very, very well. So, like when my hair was in a lepondo, it looked thick too, especially it would get all rich and thick. But I never got like really beautiful, like super jet black stunning hair, like until this guy, until Saloon Ena. So I want to show you, this here is like primary. I will cover my mom's face and my older sister's face with my fingers, and then just show you me. This is like primary school, Mayfair Convent. Yeah, this is definitely Mayfair Convent. Like maybe even, yeah, this is definitely Mayfair Convent. I was yet to be in Winchester Ridge Primary at this point. It was maybe Winchester Ridge Primary. I went there when I was in standard 3, which is grade 5. That would make me 13, 14, 12. Maybe I'm 11 here. Maybe even 10. 11 or 10. The school I'm attending is Mayfair Convent. And I'm clearly rich. Like you can see that. Dile relaxed. It was clearly rich. It was clearly healthy. I used to tuck, like this hairstyle that you're looking at, that you're gonna find me see, hairstyle tucked, like Carlson, like Tucker Carlson, him tucking the Jews in all his anti-Semitism. I tucked Marinza underneath. That was always my strategy, because I had this healthy hair. I had this healthy hair. Ne? Mara, the tips were like disappointment. But because my hair was just beautiful when it was tucked in that thing, it looked really healthy. I would take ikusha and then send it back like pretty much like this, and then leave something of this nature. Mara, the ends, I would tuck them into ikusha la corner, and that's how I went to school every day. That's how I went to school, go Mayfair Convent every single day. I'm gonna cover my sister's face and my mom's face, but you're gonna see my sister's hair too. And this sister of mine, who eventually gave up on her, she gave up on them hair game. She gave up on hair, still to this day, I tried to bring her on board on my journey because look, it's working for me. And sonke siyalingana lana. Yo, she's 2 years older than me. I'm 41 now. Okay, so I'm like, it's not about age, it's not about whatever, girl. It's about Chokomelo has never been a thing that we're doing properly concerning our hair. You had a season where your hair was doing a beautiful thing, and I had a season where my hair was doing a beautiful thing. Well, my hair is currently doing a beautiful thing. Your hair, however, is not. And our genes are similar, so come on board with my game, girl. I think we're at odds. I'm for grief. Anyway, whatever. Like, yeah, so this is my mom, and this is my older sister, and then that's me. Alright, I will bring this close. I better make sure. In fact, let me get in the center of the screen and so doing this thing to make sure I don't have a sticker or anything over there that's gonna hide all this. In the center, I'm highly unlikely gonna have a sticker when I do my edits, okay? Yeah, very, very well. So that's Karabo at like 10, 11 at the latest, and as you can see, my hair is healthy, just like, you know, only thickness, and then I've made it like a thingy, my bobby. Yeah, and I've tucked the ends in. You can also see here, hopefully the color correcting that I do to adjust lighting and whatnot when I edit is not gonna take stuff away. But you ginger, like my hair is shades and like ginger, especially towards the end over there. Anyway, and then my older sister, that's as much as I can show you. Given that I gotta put like fingers over here. Yeah, if I put the fingers that way, then you will see her hairstyle better. Sniff. My older sister, who I am now taller than, but look at how much taller than me she is in that photo. Now I'm taller than her, but not by much. We're more or less the same height. How can I show you snippets of my older sister in a way that you're gonna see? That's her hair over there. Yeah, it's like a fringe on the side. There's really nothing else that is going on over there. Yeah, like a fringe pondo going backwards. And it's also relaxed. Her hair, however, also has the ginger tips, but not like mine. No, not as badly as mine. And I'd never at this point dyed my hair. And of course, because I'm impressed with myself. Okay, so y'all can tell that that's me. Y'all know that's me because ain't nobody else out here in these streets be having a forehead that big. Anyway, other than Crankcake, that was me. That was me when my uncle and them were busy doing our hair. And every time we would go relax the hair, they would be like, split ends Hlongwane to it. And I'd be like, please, and then my hair. Until one day when I was now a big girl. A big girl in a big world. It's not a big thing if you leave me. But I do feel that I do will Miss Inwele. I need her. When I was now in grade 9 and I was 15 years old, maybe like later on that year in grade 9, I was like, okay, fine, cut the split ends, do away with these disasters on my scalp, do it, not on my scalp, but on my hair, do it, but I don't want to look. When then I became a big girl in a big world, I finally accepted. There's other photos here that I have before I became a big girl. But like, now we're in high school. When now I was in high school, I was bigger now. But I was in denial about just how whack my hair was. My hair became beautiful, y'all. Like, I'm just looking at these photos and I'm just looking at how young I was. Like, my goodness. No, Mara Snipasena. I don't have a photo, actually. Other than this one that I just showed you now. I thought I had it. I literally did. I so totally, I guess not. No, Maria, you already saw. Say, how was this thing? There's no other one. Because I don't know when the episode is that the dance level to 2 birthday parties. Anyway, whatever. But I had these like maranza skinny thing, like random weird stuff. Where my cousin and we were hanging out go Pimvili and my hair was killing it at that stage. So guy, some of these photos had that's just the thing. I'm not gonna go looking for them again. Listen, I'm getting the story out. At the end of the day, I have enough at this point. I really do have enough. Yeah, it would be great if I could find it actually. Because I'm an even bigger teenager now. I'm like 17 in that particular photo. I'm 17 and my hair is just thriving. It is thriving. And relaxed, however. I was yet to move over. I told you I only went fro in varsity. For my second year setup, I've got temptations in my uneasy bones. Am I gonna find it? Something tells me that because as a photograph for MTN, and then they just suspended me without cause, and then that photo stayed got desking. I have a feeling to go. It's in the pipelines. But seeing as we're gonna be here for hours, and go do what we need to do. I'm gonna try and find it. I guess it's all up, but that's okay. Something tells me that that's the one that pretty much MTN took away. Okay, when they fired me without cause. I think baby fat mara here, but anyway, whatever. I was a skinny girl, but still my cheeks, like, I had quite a lot of marama. Anyway, whatever. This guy then decides that he's gonna bring my hair from there to there, and over the weeks and months, as every single time I would go to the salon, this time around. So the first time, this is what happened. Right, he chopped my split ends, right? Fine is the coffee. He chopped my split ends, and after cutting up my split ends, I was like, oh, my hair's gone. And you know how after you relax your hair, it's so thin, it's so flat against your skull. It is crazy flat against your skull, and so you feel ingati, there's no volume, there's no hair over there, right? But I did a split ends until my hair was about that big. Therefore, my hair was just at this particular joint. I'm not gonna comb like ikats, like, you know, a little cat up like that, because then it's just gonna be a small little relaxed afro. And it's not cute. It's not giving. So then I make a decision seeing as my relaxed hair that day. It was like new. Did he dong on me? Did I choose ukdonga? Because at some point I got over ukdonga. I got over the kills, right? Mara, not yet. Yeah, did he dong on me? Did he dong on me? I think he did dong on me. At the time, Monica was very popular. One of them days that a girl goes through when I'm angry inside. Don't take it out on you. And then Monica brought in the bob cut intensive, right? Whatnot. So I think the guy did dong on me, and my tongued hair looked like a bob cut thing. Right? It looked like a bob cut corner. And I went to school the next day, and people were like, Sisi Nana, oh, you look so pretty, oh my goodness, your hair looks nice, oh, your hair looks nice. And I'm like, okay, thank you, but like, they also noticed right next to my hair looking nice that it was short. The one girl was like, did you cut your hair? I was like, no, I just cut my split ends. Apparently they were so long that it looked like I cut my hair, but no, I didn't cut my hair. But yeah, anyway, whatever, it's fine. She's like, anyway, whatever, but it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Kaya kinali donged bob.